What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, I want to talk about this because while I don't think it's going to happen, Boston is probably, in recent memory at least, Boston is probably the most capable team of doing the unthinkable, and that is coming back from an 0-3 deficit. To be honest with you, I'm rather astounded that they've come back and made it a 3-2 series. Because when I watched Boston in that game 3, I looked at their body language, I looked at their eyes, I looked at the language of the players after the game. Boston had quit. Boston had quit. And I fully expected Miami to come out in Game 4 and destroy Boston. But they came out for the first time somewhat lackadaisical. And that bothered me. And Boston came out like piranhas. Something happened between the end of Game 3 and the start of Game 4 that put the life back into these Celtics. And they won convincingly on the road in Game 4. And when they won in South Beach, I said, well, look, Miami is still a team that can win on the road. They can still get this thing done. But then they go back to Boston in Game 5 and get blasted. There's no other better way of putting it. I know this sounds strange to say, but Game 6 is probably a must-win for Miami, the way things are going right now. Boston has woken up. Boston has woken up. Fuck their coach. They're playing right now like they're just going off of memory. They're going off of hustle, effort. Now they're playing like the Boston team that I saw last year. At least right now. They're playing like the Boston team from last year because now their backs on against the wall. They know it's do or die. Miami is also in a situation excuse me, that they're not accustomed to. And what that is they have pressure on them now. See, they never really had pressure on them these entire playoffs. They've been playing as underdogs. They were definite underdogs against the Milwaukee Bucks. Even against the Knicks, they were underdogs. Initially against Boston. But now when you go up 3-0, the expectation is you're going to seal the deal. As we know, 150 times in the history of the NBA, when a team has been up 3-0, 150 times they sealed the deal. Now, a handful of times, I think twice, it took them 7 games to do it. I think one team, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 2 or 3 teams, but I know 2 of them. One of them was, I think it was Portland against Dallas some years ago. Dallas had a 3-0 lead, and I think Portland forced it all the way to a Game 7, but Dallas won in 7. And I think the other team that I can think of was Denver in '94 when they upset Seattle. In the next, their first round, they upset the first seeded 63-win Sonics. The next round, they played the Jazz, and the Jazz took like a 3-0 lead against Denver. And Denver came back and won the next 3 games and forced a Game 7 against Utah. But I think Utah blew them out in Game 7, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that's the closest we've come. It might have been one other time when a team forced a Game 7, but I just can't think off the top of my head. But now we're in a Game 6. There's pressure on Miami to win now. There's pressure. Because if Miami blows it in South Beach in Game 6, anything can happen in Game 7. And they're going to be rocking in Game 7. The Boston crowd is going to be unbelievable. And Boston's truly going to believe then that we can beat these dudes. And not only that, we got to come to the realization that Boston is just a naturally more talented team. They just have a horrible coach and they've just been lackadaisical. So if Boston pulls this off, Miami, man, I mean, as great as their run has been, and as great as Jimmy Butler's been, if they blow a 0-3 lead, man, they're never going to live that shit down. Never. So, tell me what you guys think, man. Do you think Boston can come back and win this series? Me personally, I think they can. I think they're capable of doing it. I still believe that Miami's going to take care of things in Game 6. That's my belief. I think Miami understands the situation. I think they're going to take care of things in Game 6, but I don't anticipate Game 6 being a blowout. But I think Miami's going to take care of things in Game 6. If they don't, I think Boston's going to win this series. But tell me what you guys think.